Parenting your kids through sports. Sports are everywhere. Most kids are involved in some kind of activity, whether it's a sport with a ball or whether it's, dance or gymnastics or, there's so many things out there. But navigating that, man, it can really be a challenge. It can be frustrating. It can be a point of tension, I think, even in a family. And learning how to balance all that and find a rhythm in that, I think is so important.
The reality is sports can become a real God to us. It'll take everything we got.
And what we're saying today really is the importance of our faith and it being a priority.
Your home, it matters. You're there to make a difference.
Well, it's Home Matters podcast time again, and we're about to hit the 200. We got to have a celebration. We got to bring in balloons in a couple of weeks. I mean, we got to play the birthday song. Yeah, we're going to have cake. We're planning a party.
Number 200. That's hard to believe.
Can you believe that?
No, I can't. It's hard to believe we've been at this. That means almost 4 years. So
unbelievable, man! Thank you though for the opportunity that you give us to speak to you and in your home, your family. Man, we thank you for that. Thank you for sharing the podcast. Man, I got a good report just a couple weeks ago now. Got an email about a lady that just picked up the podcast several states away from us. And
that's cool.
Man, we're thankful for that. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you. We got a cool topic today.
I hope it's cool. This is kind of one of my...
Some people won't like it probably.
It's kind of soapbox for me because of our own experience. But... Again, this time of year, I thought it'd be good for us to address this. And this is another parenting deal. We talked about parenting a lot.
Actually, we had someone ask us to address this, didn't we?
We did. And again, I don't know how much we'll address today with this, but I do believe it's a topic that needs to be at least spoken to. And I don't know if we've got it all right or not. I know that the Bible is very clear.
Probably not, but...
on us, on the whole parenting deal as fathers, not provoking our children and, making sure that we nurturing our kids in the right direction. And nothing simple about that. I do believe that if we'll follow the word, that there's always...
We could gain wisdom, right?
Sure.
Through the word.
Yep. You look pretty in pink today, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I just realized that we're pink and blue, so...
Yep. We match.
I should have worn blue and you wore pink.
So, what's the subject?
Parenting your kids through sports. Yes. Y'all, I don't know how well, some of you may know us very well, some of you may not, but we are a sports family, love sports. We enjoyed watching a sport last night if we weren't going to a sport, we were watching a sport. On TV, that's really all the channels that we need. We just need the sports channels.
Our chill, that's what we do, what we like
relax,
to do.
Yeah.
Love to watch a good ball game or some kind of sport on TV if they're.
And
we don't mind going if anybody out there, if you have free tickets, no, we don't. I don't really enjoy going like I used to.
We went so much for such a long period of time. Now, it's just kind of nice to watch it at home and eat your own snacks and go to your own restroom. But in saying that, man, sports are everywhere. Most all kids are involved in some kind of activity. Whether it's a sport with a ball or whether it's, dance or gymnastics or, there's so many things out there. I don't know, maybe your kid's a pro bowler or something, but they're all kind of sports.
Yeah, and there's that other side of the arts where kids are involved in different kinds of arts and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We did all of that. Yeah, we did all of that. So,
but navigating that, man, it can really be a challenge. It can be frustrating. It can be a point of tension, I think, even in a family, between parents and between kids and parents, and learning how to, balance all that and find a rhythm in that, I think is so important and kind of what
that's kind of what we want to talk about a little bit, and again, I don't want to be controversial, but with that, I think that as we go into spring, there's a lot of the kids that are involved in raising kids, and even teenagers that, they're heavily involved in different kinds of activities and sports. And we're just saying that, man, the reality is sports can become a real God to us. It'll take everything we got. As long as we bring it, it'll consume us. As long as we bring our lives to the altar of whatever sport it may be, whether it's baseball or volleyball or soccer or football, all those different, the AAUs or the USSSAs or whatever they are, whatever.
All the letters,
the PGs or whatever. And when we talk about it, we want to first say that we do believe there's a great benefit from children being involved. We do believe there's a lot of positives about being involved in different activities like sports.
Your kids need that, I think, socially.
They do.
And I don't think, parents, we can be afraid of putting our kids out there, but I think, there needs to be some light in the darkness. We've said that we could do a whole podcast on that, but, having our kids with that social involvement, being a part of community, being a part of, other families' lives. But I think besides all of that, man, the discipline, the character that they can learn. Life lessons. There were some real life lessons learned in our household.
I always say every kid needs some sports involvement because they learn to get knocked on their backside and get back up and keep playing.
That
or
is
you
life.
hope they do.
Right.
Because
that's a life lesson.
I tell people one of the reasons I love football so much is because football is a great team sport, but you're going to get hit in the mouth. And somebody's gonna come at you, and something's gonna resist you, and it'll help you to learn how to face those things and keep going. And I just think that we're raising a generation of kids now that it's too easy to quit, it's too easy to give up, and so we're not against sports in that sense.
All, right.
And again, our own experience, we've had kids involved in sports. A lot of you that know us, we had a son that was involved at the very highest level. He went on to play college football and then got signed as undrafted free agent. Got to go to a couple of camps and, so again, he actually got a shot at the highest level of that sport. But, before that, coming through, our girls involved in cheer or volleyball or basketball and
so many things,
choir and track and all that stuff. I think we can look back and say, probably we learned some things, maybe some things we'd have done differently. But also to bring some balance to it.
Yeah. The fun that it brought, in our family life and in following them. And I'd encourage you as parents, to be involved with that. Give them your support. They need your support, but they also need your oversight and they need your guidance to know maybe when enough is enough, maybe to know when this sport is not my forte. Maybe I need to, look into something else that I need to do. I found some really cool stats. They're from 2025.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention
and I think that with a child, the expectations, I think, have to be dealt with parents more so sometime than children.
Oh, yeah.
Because
You're
I
talking
think
about a parent trying to live their life through their child.
Not just live their life, but they want their child to achieve. They want them to be tops. And again, I could say that I probably would have been the same way. I probably did that. I wanted my kid to be the best he could be. Or she to be the best she could be at whatever sport they played. But at the same time, I think you have to temper those expectations. I think that the reality is a lot of people think, well, this is the next step. My kid's the next big leaguer. My kid's the next major leaguer.
Parents think they figured it out by the time their child is 7, and that's probably not the case, right?
It's
definitely not the case.
And again, this is a pet peeve of mine. It's a soapbox I get on. when I hear parents talk about how great their kid is. And again, if you're out there and Dad, you're listening today, at 8 years old, he may be excelling, he may be doing good, but I just say that doesn't mean that he's going to be a major leaguer. It doesn't mean that he's going to be.
But you don't know my child.
I know I don't, but the facts are.
Yeah.
And here's the facts.
Okay.
This is 2025, pretty recent
and like
studies.
this just starts with high school, okay?
Yeah.
So 2025, this is the National Collegiate Athlete, the NCAA. There's 7.4 million high school athletes in the United States of America. 7.4 million. Listen, approximately 6% of those will play college sports.
Wow.
Okay, so 6% of that 7.4 million. And listen, only 2% of college athletes will get a pro contract.
Yep.
Okay, so only 2% of the 6% that ever get to go play college.
Yeah, if you push that into like minor leagues or, developmental leagues or whatever, even the ones that get a shot at it out of college, that is less than 3%. And again, those numbers are staggering when it comes down to it. I hear people say, well, we're doing travel. My child plays travel ball. And it could be softball with girls or baseball with kids or boys that are soccer nowadays. There's basketball,
there's so
all
many
kind of
things
travel
that go
leagues.
on. I mean, even gymnastics and dance things.
Oh, I know.
Have something every Saturday.
But my point is this: they act as if just because they're playing that extra, they're doing those extras, that's better preparing them for what? My question has always been, all right, how much are you spending a year for your child to play travel ball? And here's what they always say. Well, I want to give them a chance, get a scholarship. Well, that's great. I hope they do. But if they get a scholarship, how much have you already spent that you could have been funding their college with? And again, when I hear people that are traveling all the time and they're spent all the time and they're tired all the time, I don't get in that conversation. Now you know why. I don't get in that conversation much. But I would question you, if you're really ticked off at what I'm talking about today, sir, you probably need to keep listening, because the reality is what you're dealing with is your expectations, and your expectations just may not be realistic. I told a guy one time, he was all about travel ball, his son, playing baseball. He said, man, he's got it. The kid didn't even make the high school team. And again, it's just the reality of where people are. They've got these expectations, and and I can say we've been through that. I remember, I'm talking a lot. Again, this is my soapbox here. But I remember my son played baseball. He ended up, again, he went on to play college football. Let me brag about him. He played college football. He's one of the greatest linebackers ever play in my eyes. I'm partial too.
You're that parent, right?
I'm that parent. But he did get a shot at playing in the NFL. He did sign an undrafted free agent contract. So in that, he did get a shot, but he didn't make it. I don't regret any of that. But the reality is through his years playing baseball, a lot of people don't know this, but he's a pretty good baseball player too. Some of them remember he was pretty good. Actually rated in the state as one of the top players at his position, and not one of the top. I'm bragging now.
You are.
The top player at his position in the state going into senior year. I'm bragging. Okay. But again, I say all that to say this. Even with that, I think I made a decision early on that I would not allow his life or his mentality to be developed around baseball or football being his God.
That's true.
And I remember when he was just a young kid, I'm talking 10, 11, 12 years old, I would not allow him to miss church on Sunday. You say, yeah, that's great, you're a pastor. No, I'm saying there was a principle in place that I wanted him to know, that going to the house of God to worship was a priority of our life.
Yeah.
And you know what? He got left out. He got mistreated. There are people that looked at me like I was a fool. Even in his older age, when he was 14, 15 years old, I was still saying, hey, it's very limited. If you get to go play somewhere and you're going to miss church on Sunday, it may be here and there when he's 15, 16 years old, but it was not a norm. And I say that to say this: he turned out all right. He did okay.
Yeah.
And athletic wise, he did all right. And I say that to make a point, and not just that I'm right, but to say that, man, it don't have to be your God. Some of you are being drug around like a slave by a sport, and you need to wake up and realize that you will not be the slave or the servant of that sport, thinking you got to do that to get your kid advanced. You don't have to. If it's in them and they're gifted to do it, they're talented to do it. I had a friend of mine that played Major League Baseball. He said, look, if they can play, I don't care what level it's at. If they can play,
they'll find
them.
That's right.
I'm talking a lot. But
well, I think not just, just the sport that maybe we think of, football, baseball, whatever. I think, our girls played sports too, but were involved in, as you said, more, they played sports, but they were involved in, vocal things and choir and things like that. We have granddaughters now that are involved in dance and one getting ready to do some stuff with gymnastics. And man, when you look at all those things, it used to be just those sports that Eric's talking about that fell over into the weekends. But guys, it is everything now.
Yeah.
Anything, I would just say, that we have our children involved in, any of those activities that can fall over into every aspect of our life, so that our life is more driven by getting to the rehearsal or getting to the practice or getting to the event than anything else in we as parents, we just kind of get our calendar out and we make our calendar around our kids' involvement in whatever. And what we're saying today really is, and Eric just hit on it, the importance of our faith and it being a priority, and our children knowing and being taught that their talent, whatever it is, whether it's, grabbing a microphone and singing, or whether it's flipping on a mat, or whether it's hitting a home run, the talent is always a way for them to have a platform to honor God.
Always.
Making sure that's, first and foremost in their life. God's given you this talent. He's given you this ability to bring honor to Him. And in that, finding a way to not just balance, but to prioritize our faith. Right?
I think
attending, there being parts.
Yeah, I think that ultimately, though, again, that is the crux of the matter, is that if they're gifted and talented, then honor God with that talent. I always told our kids, whatever success you have, realize that success is only your platform for you to be able to speak the goodness of God into others' lives. Ultimately, is a platform that God has built for you to share His good news with the earth you live in. And I just think that sometimes it gets all out of whack. And again, that's why that word balance, I want to be careful using that word balance, because when you're talking about your faith and the priority of your faith, you don't balance that with everything else. No, you order everything else around that. It's all the other things that have to get balanced, right? So, but again, the word is honor, right?
Yeah.
Where do we shift honor to? Is honor for just the accolades, or honor that we really want God to receive in and through our lives? And again, we don't know if we got it all right always. I would say that, the thrill of my life was to be able to send a picture that my son, he actually did a little piece of art when he was just a young kid, and it said in bold letters, "Put God first." And every time he had a game, I would send him that photo of that piece of work that he had done that always reminded him, you put God first.
Yeah.
Again, football is a violent sport. I always told him, look, you don't know. Always conduct your life. I know there's a lot of trash talking and all that, but you don't know who that person is that you may have collided with.
And when you're prioritizing your faith, parents, it has to start with us. Our kids have to see that, all right, in this home, in this family, our faith in God is priority.
Yeah.
And, I know you say, well, we don't have to be in church to operate in our faith. And you're exactly right. You can have devotion on the side of a ball field. But I will say this, there is something special about the gathering of God's people. And it's important that we place our children as many times in their life as we possibly can in avenues and places where they can experience the presence of God.
Community of faith, right?
Yeah, so important.
And again, it is the Jesus body that is the church. I don't make any apologies about that. Again, people say, "Oh, you don't need to go to church." Well, you don't. Yeah, you don't. I don't guess you need a steak to survive. But I'm just saying, why would you miss out on that? Why would you miss out on the thing that God has given you in the body of Christ? And again, I would say this: if you don't want to go to church and you say you're saved, then you need to. That's a you problem. That's not a church problem. And that's something you need to get straightened out. Because again, church has never been perfect. It's made up of people. But I will say this, man: if your children, if they're talented, pour into them. Yeah. Nurture that talent.
Be involved.
Invest
we hope
in
that
it.
You hear that through what we're saying today. Be involved in that. Give them an opportunity.
Give them an opportunity.
They need. Yeah. But just make sure that it's not at the cost of the thing that's most important, right?
Yeah.
I think I shared it with you earlier. I heard a writer, or I read after a writer that said this, later is longer. You say, what do you mean by that? Well, for most of our kids, life after sports is longer than the period of time they're playing sports. And so as a parent, I'm preparing them for the longer, for the after.
I know it's time to go. I could go all day on some of this stuff. It just
I know, we didn't get to a few things
that I want to encourage parents, especially with sports. Man, I know it's a lot to navigate. All I'm asking you to do is don't fall to the pressure of our world that has you running around like a chicken with your head cut off, the way we used to say it.
Yeah.
And you don't know your head from your butt because you're trying to figure out how to get all the plans made and all the travel. Listen, if God has it in store for them, let them work at it the best they can.
That's right.
And they'll land where they need to. I'm a firm believer in that. You seek first the kingdom.
Confidence in God in that. That's right.
Seek first the kingdom, and He'll add all that other stuff.
Absolutely.
And again, I love sports. I'd love to come watch your kid play if he's that good or she's that good. But at the same time, be realistic.
Yeah.
Don't set the expectations.
That's right.
And hey, let me say this too. If your child don't love it, don't force them.
That's true.
They need to be the ones saying, let's go hit. Let's go throw. Let's go practice. You don't need to be the one that's always pushing that. If you're having to push that, there's coming a day they're going to say, done with this. Yep.
Something else.
Burn out.
That's
true.
And
you can talk to pediatricians. You can talk to a physical therapist. They'll tell you what I'm telling you is true. We're burning our kids out physically and mentally with sports. Let's get a grip on it.
That's right. Man, let's burn them out on Jesus. How about that? Do that.
Better believe it.
Hey. I don't believe they'll burn out on him. I think they'll just pick up some momentum with Jesus, right?
Not Jesus. Religion will burn you,
man,
but not Jesus.
We love you so much. We want the best for your family, for your home, and for your kids, because we truly believe your home matters. What's going on at your home matters. And, man, we just want the best for you. Love you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for
can I
tuning
say
in.
this before we finish?
Okay.
This subject, we might go back to it sometime, but I would love to get some feedback out there that if there are parents out there that are struggling this area, we'd love for you to respond or comment. Let us know, hey, you're scratching something here that's itching us really bad, and we need help on it. And again, I'm thinking even with Parenting Matters, some of our events, maybe we need to talk more about it, because I do believe there are a lot of people. I think there are, but I could be wrong. So if there are out there, I'd like to hear from them.
All right. Sounds good. All right. We got to get out of here. Your home matters.
A little longer
today.
See
you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.